Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to optimize images for use on your website. I'm going to be working with Adobe Photoshop Creative Cloud, and although you may have an earlier version of this program, the steps should be broadly the same. You may also be using one of the other programs, including some of the many free programs such as Paint.net, and I'll be coming back to these in a later tutorial. So why do we need to optimize images before we use them on a website? Well, firstly, you may have limited web space available to you, and if you have a lot of large files, you're going to use this space up very quickly. Secondly, large images take longer to load, which can impact the page load speed and ultimately affect the end user experience and your Google ranking. And finally, you need to make sure that the image is the correct shape for the place on the website where you're going to put it. So I know that for today's task, I'm going to need an image which is approximately twice as wide as it is high. This is referred to as aspect ratio, in this case an aspect ratio of 2:1. So firstly, let's open the original image in Photoshop by going to File and Open, and then navigate to the folder where the original image is stored, select it and click Open. As you can see, my original image is a square aspect ratio, so I'm going to need to crop this so that it fits properly in my website. So I'm going to select the crop tool on the left hand side, and then in the ratio boxes at the top, I'm going to type the aspect ratio for the crop box. Now I know that this image is going into a section of the website approximately 600 pixels wide. So if I type in 600 pixels in the width box, and then type in 300 in the height, that should give me an image which is approximately twice as high as it is wide. You'll see this grid appear over the original image, and I can now click and drag the original image into position so that the right part of the image is visible within the grid. When you're satisfied with your selection, click the tick at the top of the screen to commit the current crop operation. So there you have it, that's my cropped image. Now it's still too big. I know it's about 2,700 pixels wide, so I'm going to need to downsize it so it takes up less space on my website. To do that, go to the File menu again and click Save for Web. And this box allows us to select the appropriate size for the image, as well as the file format and the amount of compression quality. So firstly, we'll come down to the boxes under image size at the bottom of the dialog box. This link here ensures that the original aspect ratio is retained, and in the width box type 600. The height is populated automatically as 300, and when I press tab we get a preview of the image and an estimation of its file size. So at the current settings, that's just under 35 kilobytes. Now I can change the type of file from JPEG to any one of these 5 different types. So let's have a look at Ping24, which is a much higher quality file format. And you'll see that at this image size, that gives me a file size of 224 kilobytes. Way too big for what I need. So I'm going to select JPEG again. And let's have a look at the different compression qualities. Let's start with low. So this will cause a little bit of degradation of the original image, but gives us a very small file size of just under 12 kilobytes. If I select maximum, then we'll get the best quality, but a file size of approximately 118 kilobytes. So this is a trade-off between file size and image quality. Let's choose somewhere in the middle. Let's select high, which will give me that file size of just under 35 kilobytes. Now I click Save. I'll need to name the photo, so let's just call it Optimize 600, and make sure you put it in a different folder so that you don't overwrite the original. Click Save, and that's it. The image has been cropped to the appropriate aspect ratio and downsized to a file that is suitable for use on my website. Don't forget to check back to see some of the other tutorials. I'll be looking at some of the other programs you can use to do this task, and I'll also be looking at some of the batch operations in Photoshop. Thanks for watching.